If you haven't prepared in advance, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt. Now something's happening. Something's beginning to unfold. Hi, welcome to this video. I'm Doug Barry. I appreciate you being with me. This is the BR Coalition channel. Before we get started, I want to ask you, subscribe to this channel, like this, share it, get these videos out to other people. The purpose of the BR Coalition channel is to help as many people as possible be better prepared, body, mind, and soul. Especially in the times that we're living in, it's pretty obvious we need to be stepping up our preparation in all these areas. Now today we're going to talk about the awareness colors. These are 4 colors that we can categorize, we can look at ourselves, see where we fall into them, and really look at whether or not we are prepared, whether or not we're thinking about training up and getting ready to handle different types of crisis or conflict that may come into our lives. This is a color scheme that was put together by Jeff Cooper, a Marine back in the 20th century. And this is a very, very smart way to look at very simple aspects of what we're doing to be thinking about even the mindset of being better prepared, which is really the root of the problem. If we're not thinking about it up here first, then we're not going to be taking actionable steps in our day-to-day lives to be better prepared for any kind of crisis or conflict. Whether it's a fire in your house, a car accident, a civil unrest, something attacking you in a parking lot, whatever it might be, we need to be thinking up in here first and foremost what we're doing to pay attention to our surroundings, and then how do we actionably engage in a situation, and so forth. So this color scheme, 4 colors, white, yellow, orange, and red, and this is a great way, again, to help us understand where we fit into these categories. Before we go any further, I want to encourage you to click the link in the description below and get your free download. This is an actionable step download to help you look at what you can do in each of these levels of awareness that we're talking about. Let's start with the first one, white. What are we talking about here? We're talking about basically being oblivious to any threat or any problem that may be coming your way. Now, we all fall into this at one time or another. Normally, if we're sleeping, that's where we are. A lot of times we're hanging around the house, we got our feet up, we're watching TV, we're relaxed. You'd like to think that you don't have to be in that situational awareness, the yellow color, all the time. You'd like to have those down times, right? We should be able to do that. But that's what white basically means. Now, sadly, a lot of people go through life in that color of just oblivious to what's going on around them. They'll walk down the street and they're on their phone. They're in their car and they're not paying attention. They're on their phone in the car, which leads to a lot of car accidents. That's an example of being in this kind of oblivious mode, this first zone, this first color of just white, stuck in, not paying attention to anything around you, and you are much more at risk of something happening. You could say that we fall into this when we're in the house and we're not paying attention to whether something's on the stovetop and the heat's on or off, or we're not paying attention to whether or not you've got, a loaded firearm sitting around and kids in the house, young kids in the house. All these types of things basically pointing out that we're not paying attention to potential danger, potential risk, or potential threat. We could go down the list and look at multiple ways we all can fall into this. Go through your day and ask yourself, when am I most likely to be in this first level where I'm not paying attention to what's around me? And then ask yourself, do I need to change that? Do I need to adjust that? Yellow, situational awareness. This is the color we should be in pretty much most all of the time. So as I'm talking even on camera, peripherally, I'm looking left and right. I'm paying attention to my surroundings on all sides. If I'm out in public somewhere and I need to stop and do something on my phone, I'm going to put my back up against a wall so I can still see, 180 degrees left to right, what's around me, but my back is against the wall. So I've got my head down, my focus is now on the phone. My eyes can still be looking around me, still paying attention to the situation around me, but I'm putting myself in a position where somebody can't just, surprise me from behind. Situational awareness should always be active when we're driving. Without fail, we should always be paying attention to what's going on the road. Many car accidents happen from simply being a distracted driver. Back to, again, sitting in that first category of white. So again, situational awareness at all times. Even when I'm around my house, I want to pay attention to what's going on with the doors, the windows, what's locked, what's not locked. If I've got motion lights going off outside, I'm paying attention when that light goes on, and I'm actively stepping up to pay attention. Look out the window, see what's going on outside. My awareness is heightened when I'm in yellow, the situational awareness category. Orange, third level. This is where things are changing. Things are ramping up a little bit. Things are becoming more intense. I'm walking down the sidewalk or I'm in a shopping mall and I hear someone scream. Now I'm looking over. Now I'm focused on a particular situation, a particular area. Or I'm smelling smoke in the house. Now I'm thinking there might be a fire. It's not just someone burning supper. It's something different. It smells like something's on fire in the house. Or there's a car accident on the side of the road. Now I'm focused on the car accident. Whatever the circumstances are, when something happens and it draws your attention to, this is serious now. Now in my mind, I'm starting to go through scenarios. I'm starting to process what my step might be next. What action should I take? Do I got to call 911? Do I need to get out of the car, go help somebody? I got to get my go bag out of the back of the car. I've got a tourniquet there and a pressure bandage. I got to run over and try to help somebody. Whatever the situation, again, the circumstances are, orange tells me now something's happening. Something's beginning to unfold. Maybe someone's pounding on the door. Maybe I hear glass break in the middle of the night and someone's breaking into the house. Now I've got to look at what I need to do. So situational awareness, obviously yellow, I'm paying attention to what's going on around me. Orange, it's a focused attention on a particular situation now, on something that is happening. A scream, broken glass, car accident, or someone in a parking lot comes up maybe and starts to ask me the time of day, or how can I get to a gas station? Hey pal, can you point me the way to a gas station down the street? To me, that's still an opportunity to look at maybe this orange category, because it could be a setup. That happens. It happens a lot. Someone comes up, hey pal, can you tell me what time it is? And when you look down at your watch, then they spring an attack on you. That can happen. So I'm going to position myself in a way that's going to prevent that easy attack from taking place. So again, orange is that color where something is starting to happen that really gets your spider senses up now. Now you're thinking, okay, I got to process what my next step might need to be depending upon what is happening at this time and moving me to that category of orange. It's a heightened awareness and a ready to engage if need be, whether it's a fight situation, flight, or medical, fire, something of this more serious nature. And last but not least, the color red. Red means something's on and you have to engage. You have to act upon something. You have to step up to either fight or flight, or there's a medical situation where you actually do have to get in there. Maybe the fire is happening in the house and you have to get people out. You have to get out. Basically, red means it's go time. Here's an idea I want you to think about that I think really applies here. The better trained you are, the less likely you are to run into chaos when a conflict happens. In other words, when you get to that point where now it's red, category red, and everything's hitting the fan and it's on and you have to engage, if you've trained in advance, you've processed in advance, you're carrying the right items on you, whether it's a tactical flashlight to a firearm, you've got a bug out bag, a go bag in your car, you got a med kit easily accessible in your house, fire extinguisher, whatever it is. If you've trained this in advance, when everything hits, you're ready. You're ready to engage. I can't tell you how many times people come up to me and say, Doug, yeah, you talk about this a lot. I'm in a church talking or a conference somewhere, or just sitting around the kitchen table with people. And I'm talking about these things and someone says, well, what should I have done in this situation or this situation? And they describe something that they went through and they froze up. They didn't know what to do. Now, there's a lot of what ifs in life. And you can always say, well, what if this happens? Well, what if this happens? How do I prepare for this? How do I train for that? And you can't train for every what if, but you can train in general and have a process in your mind and a certain attitude and mindset that allows you to have, I like to say, that toolbox of preparedness where if something happens, hey, there's a tool. I've trained on how to use the tool. This situation, I can apply this tool in this situation. Red, when that happens, if you haven't prepared these other stages, if you haven't processed, if you haven't trained up a little bit, when red happens, a lot of times you're going to be left out in the dark, left in the cold, freezing up, curling up in a fetal position on the floor because you don't know what to do. This is why it's so important to take seriously the earlier steps of training. This is something we talk a lot about BR Coalition, is the importance of being trained up in all these different areas so that when red happens, you've got what you need. Easily accessible items. I call this EAI, right? What do we do with this? I got a fire extinguisher. Where is it? Well, it's buried in the closet somewhere, and I've put all this stuff in front of it, so when a fire breaks out, I'm digging through things to try to find it. Not good. You got a water main break in your house somewhere, and you got to go shut it off out by the street or in the basement. wherever your water shutoff is, and you don't know where your water shutoff is, or you don't have the tool to shut it off. These are things that you can find yourself when red happens, when red hits the fan, and you've got to engage. If you haven't prepared in advance, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt. So again, I want to encourage you, subscribe to this channel, like this, share this with others, click the link in the description below, get that free download of actionable steps that you can take when it comes to these different categories, these 4 colors that you might find yourself in. This is pretty serious stuff, and a lot of people find themselves in a lot of trouble because they haven't taken the most basic, actionable steps to be better prepared when a problem happens. And it could be a problem such as a natural disaster, a flat tire on the side of the road, civil unrest, a corrupt government, whatever it might be, it happens. So again, I encourage you, click that link in the description, go get that free download and share this with other people. Help other people be better prepared. I appreciate you being with me. God bless and strengthen you in this fight. We'll see you again soon.